Hello everyone, welcome to Speed of Sound. A tabletop tournament bullet format, and today we have an 8-player bracket. The 9th player had to drop, essentially. So here we are. And first we have Chris and Havoc, the 4th and 5th seeds at today's event. And we're going to be starting off with some Main Street. It's going to be interesting to see how it goes. And whenever the players are ready, they can hop into it. Havoc will be blue and Chris will be yellow. And as they select their decks, we'll be hopping right into it. As we head into game one, Havoc first, Chris on Main Street. Havoc deciding to redraw their deck. Not a good starting deck for them. Going down with the E-leader, trying to play as quickly as possible. Captain coming out from Chris. Both players trying to rush into the other opponent's side and defend their side, prevent their opponent from breaking in. Havoc trying to defend the left side, decides to defend the right instead. Smart play. Chris setting up an attack on the right side. Now no longer able to do so. Havoc now defending the left side of the map. Trying to find the best spot to play it. Ran out of time. That is how bullet goes. Being forced to pass the triple ink strike. Chris being able to move in with the E-leader 4K scope. Getting a huge advantage from the forced pass. Moving in with the Octo Hopper, still able to push forward. Both players gaining a special point from that encounter. Havoc now playing the little judge, trying to gain some special points and start an offensive push. Deciding to play a bit more defense. Once again, running out of time. That's how bullet goes. Chris once again able to play another card. Playing the Cold-Blooded Bandit Shiver, trying to find a spot, trying to get its most optimal position, almost running out of time. Able to place it down, however, with the E-leader 4K being worth less points, overrides the 14-point card. Havoc running out of space. A huge advantage for Chris in game one. Havoc trying to claw their way back into it. But more special points for Chris. Both players have 4 special points. Havoc only being able to play some small cards, running out of time. With 3 turns remaining, will they be able to do much? Special card trying to come out, the Fry trying to turn the tide. 10 of missiles coming out from Chris. Getting closer, but still over 40 points away. It's not going to be much being able to be done. Just playing the suction bomb, because why not? As Chris takes game number 1. We now wait for the counter pick from Havoc after Chris bans 2 maps. Be interesting to see how it goes. All right. As we now see what they go, counter pick 2. Banning box seats and squared. Havoc now having to pick one of the remaining maps. Opting to go with River Drift for game number 2. It's the winner's life for Havoc in this game. Going down, blocking off their base already, having opportunities to move in. Havoc starting off at a better spot than last game. Moving in, trying to get a good special point launch off far into Chris's space. Havoc now with the Hype Manta Storm, the big man card, trying to find a good spot to do it. Running out of time, able to place it in time, avoiding a pass. Manages to keep the lead of 4 points, but barely. Trying to find a spot for this crack on card, one of the larger cards in their deck. Trying to claw lead. However, Chris with way more special points, giving them a great advantage in that department, especially when it gets to the late game. Havoc getting 2 on this turn, equalizing it a bit, and Chris equalizing the point score. With the low judge trying to get another special point. The Zip Caster coming out, trying to find a way into Havoc's little side pocket that was unused there. However, Low Judd, unbeknownst to Havoc at the time, protected that special prevented an attack. Havoc giving Chris an extra special point, but another launch off point for whatever special card they have. Opting to play the Octo Stomp, get an extra special point. That's the Tri-Trick and the Rapid Blaster at the ready. Opting to play the Rapid Blaster, get as many points as possible, get closer, get to the lead. The Ink Vac coming out from Chris. However, Havoc having opportunity to get the win here. Having multiple, almost passing on accident. Doesn't have much time to find something, places it down hurriedly. The Tri-Slosher coming out. Will that be enough for game number 2? No, it will not. As Chris takes this set 2-0 with a close game 2. Havoc will be knocked down into losers. Close game 2. Havoc having a second life, a second opportunity in the losers bracket. However, for now, it is Chris who's moving on and getting further in the bracket, making it to winners semifinals. Be interesting to see how it will play out in the future. But for now, we will now head and wait for the next round. Anyways, I'll see you then. Hello and welcome back to the winner semifinals match today. Or not today. This set will be Pinon versus DblCookies, our second and third seed today. And the first map will be on Thunder Point. Players are getting this match set up. It's going to be interesting. I don't think these players have much set history. I'd have to look. However, they are pretty close in my spreadsheet for seeding, so it should be a good match as they select their decks and start their match. Double versus Pinon. Pinon. I don't know how to pronounce it. My bad. On Thunder Point, game number 1, here we go. In this best of 3 set. Double starting off with the Tri-Stinger. Pinon with the Fry. Now Marie coming out from Double, trying to block off an attack from Pinon. Now the wall point and Callie coming out. Both players successfully pretty much blocking off the other player from their base. However, the attempt attack allowing Double to sneak into Pinon's base. Though Judd trying to build up space in their base. Try to gain as much points as possible. 3 special points in 1 turn coming out from Pinon. Double trying to build up some special points, and also remove avenues to attack from the small Fry. 1 for 2 deal on the special points today. Getting another special point with that move. Double now finally getting their first special points. Pinon at 5. The point spread extremely close for both players. Only a 2-point difference. Being forced to pass gives Double a slight advantage with being able to play a card. Being able to get an extra special point, now able to play their special card, Ultra Stamp. However, my man Craig Cuttlefish being played, giving an advantage to Pinon, able to get something going for them. Unable to get enough special points with that power clamp to get their special, being forced to play Tri-Slosher. Will it be enough, or will Pinon with 3 be able, with the special card, be able to sneak game 1 away from Double? In that it will. Pinon taking game 1 by 10 points. They now head into the counter pick phase. It's now counter pick. Hell hitting. It looks like we'll be heading to River Drift for game number 2. Personal favorite map of mine. Be interesting to see how the higher level players play this map. As they select their decks and start game number 2. starting with reshuffling the deck. The DJ Octavio card start off, pushing it forward. Very different strategy to how I usually personally use that card. Let's see how it will work out. Pushing as far in as possible to begin with. Trying to get blocked off. Does a pretty successful block from Double. Pinon trying to figure out what to do. Struggling to find where to play the big shot. Able to switch to the Octoballer in time. As Double tries to push in a bit further, however, that will block it off. Neither player able to make it into the other's base. As they both now try to build the special points and build a lead that cannot be overcome by the other player. Trying to find spots for their big cards. Double having a lot more space to use, even though having a similar score until now to Pinon. Trying to run out of time using a special. Deciding to pass the reflux. Giving Double a greater advantage. Double now moving up. Now having to lead in a lot more special points. This is why counter picks matter. I can't even see, I have 6 or 7 special points right now. Pinon being forced to use their special card, their 312. Try to claw their way back in. Another special point. That's 8 special points for Double. Will they be able to come back from this deficit? Most likely. With the captain getting another special point, and with that being able to use a special card, Pinon having the Barazushi card, trying to push forward with this. Will the Incheck give enough points for Double to take the game number 2 and have to go into a game number 3, the final game of a set? Yes, it will, as they now head on to game number 3, the final game of the set, to determine who will make it to winners finals and who will have to drop down into losers. As they now began bands. As they now head on to game number 3. On, if it'll let me select it, there it goes. Double Gemini. Game 3 for making it into winners finals. Who will take it? Who will be left and be put down into losers? All comes down to this. Both players trying to push into the other spaces. Different decks coming out from both players, I think. Double pushing in, the captain card coming out. Unsuccessful block, however, Pinon having an opportunity to get into Double's base. Double finding another way to break into Pinon's base. Pinon trying to block it. Both players in the other's base, in the other side of the map, needing to get special points with them very... what's the word? I can't remember it. But a very different map compared to all the rest. Having all those diagonal areas. Double trying to block off Pinon from their base. Doing a decent block on that side of the map. Now playing the captain card. One of the largest cards in the game. get some extra points to help try to build a lead, building one special point. Both players having one right now. Now trying just to push in further to Pinon's base, trying to build more special points. The block coming out from Pinon, unknowing of the splat bomb going in. The auto bomb now trying to build a special point. Pinon being forced to pass a card. Both players building a special point. However, Double getting extra points with that. Now trying to build another special point and being able to do so. Now able to play their special card. 2 more points for both players. Both players at 4 special points. Though Judd being able to play it in one spot alone for Double. Decides to play it instead of passing, maybe have an opportunity for another card. Another special point coming out for both players. It will come down to the final turn. Opting for the E-leader or Charger, trying to find a spot for a card. Still having enough special points for a special card, both players. It's going to come down to the final turn. Who will make it? Who will be left behind? It all comes down to who has the better special card placement. Both going out. And that will give it to Double. Double coming with the 2-0 reverse sweep. Moving on to winners finals. Pinon being sent down to losers semifinals. Good games to both of those players. A close fight, especially in that second game. It's gonna be I could see both these players having an opportunity to meet again in grands or losers finals. It really depends on what happens on the other side of the bracket. But with that, I will see y'all in the next round. I just realized I was muted. My bad. Sorry about that. As I was saying, Double having a much better use of their space. A lot of open areas that not many cards fit in on this side of Chris. Both very similar when it comes to special cards, though. Double 11 points behind. Using the ballpoint splat lane, trying to move ahead, trying to find a spot where they can use it and get 2 special points. However, they aren't able to find one, opting just to get the 1. Closing the gap, only 4 points behind. However, running out of cards to use, deciding to opt to pass. No, trying to use a card, unable to do so in time. The captain being forced to pass. A special card coming out from Chris. Is that too big of deficit to come back from? Trying to force a tie. However, a card coming out from Chris will ensure them game number 1. As they now head into a counter pick. As they now start with their bands. Chris opting to ban both box seats and squared. Squared is now up to Pinon with, or not Pinon, Double with the counter pick. As they now head on to game number 2 on Main Street. Chris starting out with an Octohopper. Double with the E leader 4K. Trying to move in as quickly as possible. Push ahead. Build a wall. Prevent their opponent from moving in. Double with a bit more space. However, Chris having that special point at the top. Able to break through. Trying to use that little jut to push in a little bit further. Pretty much symmetrical play from both the players, which is kind of funny in my opinion. Gaining the both a special point with an extra one coming out from Chris. Chris now with 4 special points, a huge advantage early on, and especially when we get into the later game, having more opportunities to take over spots of doubles. Trying to find a spot for Forge, able to find one at the bottom. Double trying to build up an opportunity to gain a lot of special points, building that special wall, special vertical wall. Chris trying to push forward with the special point. A great plus to having this amount of special points early on. However, the in parry card being able to really prohibit a lot of that movement enabled by that special card. With the holographic Splat Bomb, getting an extra special point for Double. Double only 7 points behind right now after that poor start from bad RNG, bad cards. Using the Kraken Royale, try pushing further. Chris with 7 special points with 2 turns remaining. Going to be able to do a lot of damage in Double's size of the base, who only has 1 special point. And being forced to pass, they're only going to have 2 special points to use compared to Chris's 4 with the special point. Double, knowing that they can't get past, gives up, giving game number 2 to Chris as well. As they now head on to another counter pick. More chance to adapt in this best of 5 set. Banning the same stages. It's going to be interesting to see. Will Double try again on River Drift, or will they go to something new? Starting game number 3, they are playing on Double Gemini. Double trying to get another reverse sweep after doing the same in winter semis. However, it's going to be a much bigger task with having to win 3 games compared to 2 straight, especially with 2 games on the opponent's counter pick. But first, they have to get past this first game right here. This will make it or break it for them. Trying to use the Shelly and Donnie card, unable to find a spot for it. Opting to use the E-Leader instead. Both players breaking into the other's base. Using the Captain card to try to defend that extra right side of their base. This Platana Wiper doing the same on the other side for Chris. Trying to find special points, trying to find space. Double with the slight edge, barely finding a spot to play Shelly and Donnie. However, Chris getting that extra special point is going to help them, especially in that long run. Still a very even game, both players with about the same amount of space. Double actually have the slight advantage when it comes to space. Special points also even across both players. Double having a great opportunity to try to get this game back, to get the set back. However, only able to play small cards. And 2 special points coming out from Chris is going to throw a wrench in those plans. Only having 1 card able to be played. Trying to find a spot where they can get an extra special point. They find a spot where they can get 2. Can help them a ton in these last 2 turns, especially with Chris being able to force to pass. However, if they do have an extra special point, which Double does not have the opportunity to use. Trying to find a spot where they'll have an extra special point to use their special card. As now we head on to the special card phase. 3 special points for Double on that turn. Now being able to play multiple cards, opting for the Ultra Stamp. Will they get the game, or will Chris have a larger card and be able to overcome? Trying to defend, however, I don't think that's enough, and it's going to give Double game number 3, and Double hoping for the reverse 3-0. Starting with this game here, but they have to win on 2 counter picks of Chris's. We see where they counter pick 2. Double opting to ban Main Street and Thunder Point. Oh, they're already starting into game number 3 on X mark. Quicker than I thought that was going to happen. My bad. Three turns in. Chris able to break into double space. Equal points coming from both sides. However, Chris having a much greater opportunity. Having those extra points in a double space. However, double with that extra special point may help them a lot in that long run, but Chris does have a lot of extra space to use to their advantage. Another special point for both players, and even game point-wise right now, but as I've already said, Chris does have that extra space and gets 2 special points right here. Though that also gives double an extra one, plus 2 they got. Now it's 6 special points, going to help them a lot in this late game because of all that extra space Chris has. Gives an opportunity for double to take a lot more extra space in that future end game phase. And only small cards being able to be used by Chris, going to give double an opportunity as they use their larger cards. Both players gain an extra special point. Double at 9 special points, probably some of them hidden by the overlay. Trying to find a spot to use this Ultra Stamp. Finds a great spot. A small fry coming out from double. Gaining an extra special point. Trying to get a few. Now having a lot of special points to use. A lot of large cards able to be played. A captain special attack, turning the tides of the game extremely quickly. It's going to come down to who has better special placement. Chris trying to find a spot. Finding a great spot. Double trying to find a spot as well. It's going to come down who has the better spot, who gains more points from this. It's going to be close, but game number 4 goes to Chris, who then, with that, takes the set 3-1 over Double. Double being knocked down into losers finals. Chris now having an opportunity, a second life to use in Grands. As we now will head down to the loser semi soon. I'll see you then. Hello and welcome back to Loser Semifinals, a best of 3 set, not best of 5. Starting on game 1 with Main Street, both these players on their tournament lives being in losers. Starting on game number 1 on Main Street, both these players desperately wanting to stay in this tournament. Both starting off with an identical start with the captain card. Jack trying to find and block off any attacks made by Pinon. The Fry card coming out being slightly bigger than the E-Leader 4K scope card gives the E-Leader the advantage and priority, covering over some extra points that Pinon could have gotten, helping Jack stay with the chance in and not being able to be attacked through diagonal. I'm struggling with English today. Trying to find spots, trying to build their spots without much gaps to get as many special points as they can. These players not having no set history to my knowledge. I mean, as Jack said, it's been 20 tournaments apparently since they have yet to play until today. It's gonna be interesting to see how these players play against each other. Pinon trying to break in, having a spot to do so. Jack gonna instantly try to block it off, using the heavy splatling to try to do so. Almost running out of time. But the E-Leader once again having, I forget the word, over the heavy splatling gives Pinon, or heavy priority over the heavy splatling gives Pinon the advantage. Special points being thrown out left and right. Jack with 4 special points and being able to play the Dynamo, a really large card to give them a lot of space. They're pretty much out of small cards, however. So they're going to have to start passing or using their specials right now. Opting to start with a pass. Deciding to pass the crack on. Both players having to pass, only a special point changing. Now opting to use their special card right now. Trying to find where will I not give them a special point. Almost running out of time. Last second timer is at 0, but they were able to get down that special card. However, Jack, realizing that Pinon has 3 special points, able to play the special card, realizes it's not worth continuing, giving Pinon a game number 1. As they now head on game number 2, it is up to Jack to ban any stage that they don't want to play on. Pinon opting to ban Lakefront Property and Squared. They now head on to Double Gemini for game number 2. As they now select their decks, enter the match. As they now begin selecting their decks, deciding their starting hands, they now head on to game number 2. This is for Jack's tournament life right here. The melon math coming out from Pinon, trying to block off their base from Jack. However, Jack with the forged game priority being the smaller card now is in their base. The captain card coming out, but they are also in Jack's base, trying to use the captain card in Jack's base to build off it. Both players now attacking each other's base, both with 1 special point. Pinon with about a 9-point advantage, though that can still very easily change. in this early stage of the game. Using the auto bomb, getting another special point, however, is blocked off on that left side, though still does have the right side to move in and attack with. Trying to defend on that right side, however, those two little points will allow Pinon space to attack. The Cali card coming out. So much extra points for Pinon breaking into the base, however, not optimal use of space. Just trying to make it hard for Jack to use their cards. However, Jack with 2 extra special points to be used in these last 5 turns. They still have an opportunity to come out with a win here. A 14-point gap is not, or 16-point gap, not that large, though that does expand to 20 points, still is able to be overcome. Just depends on if Pinon is able to capitalize with a special point card, or if Jack is able to find the perfect cards to use. Making a launching off point, now 25 points behind. The lead ever growing from Pinon. Being forced to pass the captain card does have special points, but is 30 points behind. It's going to be extremely hard to overcome. Pinon just trying to make it hard for Jack to come back, trying to take these extra 3 points, a greater spread of 6. Does give an extra special point to Pinon, who does have a special card at the ready. Is going to, in fact, give game number 2 and the set to Pinon, who now will move on to losers finals to face double for a chance to fight Chris in grand finals. Quick set as we now quickly head on to losers finals. I'll see ya very, very soon once we get that set up. I said, it would be a quick turnaround for this round, as we now head into losers finals, Double versus Pinon, a rematch from the winner semifinals for the opportunity to face Chris in grand finals. This is a best of 5 set. Both players are now selecting their decks. It's going to be interesting to see how it goes. Double starting with the captain card, trying to move into the middle as quickly as possible. Cover as much ground, defend as much as possible. Not a great second hand. Gonna give Pinon a great opportunity to move forward. The Marie card coming out from Pinon last term and now from Double. Having to use it in their base, Pinon able to defend their side, however, opting to attack. Double now trying to attack into Pinon's base, who effectively defends it with the Splat Charger. Ballpoint Splatling coming out. A really even game right now. No special points from either player. Still Double not able to play any large cards. Trying to find where they can get special. They get 2 here. Pinon with a lot of extra space, trying to as well find special points. Has not found any and is 8 points behind halfway into the game. A launch off point created from Double right there on the bottom right or middle right part of the screen. Has a few small cards left. Going to try to find spaces they can use it, trying to gain all the special points that they can to use in their final 2 to 3 turns. Getting 2 more special points here, and also creating a second launch off point. Pinon being forced to pass, giving Double a huge advantage. A lot of extra special points that Pinon does not have to use in these final turns. Pinon only with 2, Double with 3. Trying to find where can they get an extra special point. Uses the special card. Does have enough special points to use their special card, the Ultra Stamp. Trying to find where they can use it most effectively. Having a huge lead, though. The Cali card coming out from Pinon. Will that be enough? I don't think it is, which will give game 1 to a Double by 10 points. Now, Pinon's counterpick and Double's bans. Where will we head to for game number 2? We will find out. Both these players desperately want to stay in, want to get the best results they can. Prove to themselves that they are the best bullet player here today. Double banning lakefront property and squared. Pinon counterpicking to Main Street for game number 2. Their deck's already selected. Here we go. Double wanting to increase their lead. Pinon wanting to get back into the set, even it up as soon as humanly possible. Large card coming out to begin with. Pinon starting with a some giant cards, Dynamo and Fry, using the Dynamo, opting to move it forward to attack into Double's base instead of defending. Now using the Explosher to defend that lower part of their base, or no, opting to attack on that left side. That extra little point, not that didn't get override by the 96 Scout, being used to move forward. Now using the Power Cannon to try to defend. However, the Captain card will prevent that with a 7-point lead. Pinon trying to attack even further. Now have an opportunity for a combo with their 3-sized 3x1 card. Using either in the left side, most likely, trying to gain that special point. Able to do so, however, Double also at 3 special points with the slight lead in that department. Just trying to build up special points, trying to build up that lead. Both players using Little Judd, getting an extra special point to use. Pinon only left with a few small cards, trying to find where can they use it, where will they get the most use from it. Blocking off any further expansion into the right side of their base from Double. However, Double also at 5 special points with 4 turns remaining, though Pinon about to get 2 more right here. The holographic Splat Bomb not doing much for Double at this time. Having a spot to play Auto Bomb, finding it with the limited time they have. Double being forced to pass, helping Pinon build their lead even further. Now 13 points ahead. Opting to use their Splat Z plus F Splat Charger to build their special. Kraken Royale coming out from Double. The lead not changing by much. And the special card still being able to be used by Pinon should give them game number 2. And that it does. Pinon taking game number 2, evening up the set 1-1. Was now heading to bans and counter picks once again. And Pinon hitting rank 55 in Table Turf at that moment. It is now up to them to ban these next stages. Well, I need to go get the Ritz off the not. Banning River Drift and Lake for property. Double able to pick any stage besides that, those, or Thunder Point. But we get it. We finally get it. We are now heading to game number 3 on box seats. I've waited for this for so long. Let's see how it goes. Game number 3 of Losers Finals of box seats. Double trying to start out with a large card, not able to find one, only having the Spot Charger as their largest card. Box seats extremely different than every single other map in this game. Being much smaller, having a much greater emphasis on those smaller cards, trying to build specials, trying to attack into the base. It's very common to see a lot of specials being played on this map, as well as a lot of tiny cards being used to gain extra special points to play those larger cards. Being unable to play a hero shot, one of the largest cards in the game. Double just trying to build up those special points to make those attacks and defend from attacks themselves. Has the captain card, building up that small wall in the bottom left corner,
though does have an opportunity for Pinon to attack in that left side, building up 4 special points in one turn. No, 3 special points in one turn. Using his specials to gain 3 more, 1 point for 3. We got a great deal here today. It's going to be hard for Pinon to break through Double's defenses on that bottom of the map. Every Inkback very good at skirting around walls like that. Though Double at 8 special points, Pinon only at 1. Opting just to build those cards. Are now hitting special and passing mania. Starting with a special point, 3 for 2. Both players just trying to get as many as they can. Pinon getting 3 for 1. 2 turns remaining. This is still anyone's games, even though it looks like Pinon having a great advantage. There's just so many special cards to be played. And it's going to come down to this final turn. Who has the better cards? Who has the better opportunities? A special part able to come out? No. Squiffer. Will that be enough for Pinon to take game number 3? It's going to be close. And they do 50 to 45. Now, once again, Pinon's counter, Double's counter picks, my bad. As they head onto game number 4. Right now, just waiting for Pinon's bans. Once again, cannot ban Thunder Point, as that has already been banned, as that is Double's last win during this set. Just waiting for it to come out. It's going to be interesting. Where will Double go to try to claw their way back to the set after being up 1-0, now down 1-2? They need to win these next 2 games. Pinon, if Double wins this game, Pinon unable to go back to box seats for game number 5. They'll Double, that's an opportunity. Might try to go for that again. I think Chris making a box seats deck during that game. Pinon bans box seats, refuses to play on it, and River Drift now up to Double to pick the map. Heading to Lakefront Property for game number 4. Will Double be able to claw this victory back? Or will they head on? Or will Pinon head on to Grand Finals against Chris? Double, being in Winners Finals, wants to get back into that position. Pinon trying to make this upset to face Chris in Grands. As they now start, Pinon with the 96 down going up. No, opting to go with the Moss instead. Both players heading towards the same direction. Will they go to the other side or will they continue? Pinon heading to the other side. So does Double. Both players have an opportunity to make it to the other space, especially in that top area. Pinon having a greater opportunity on that left side, trying to block off on that right side. Or on the left side and having a greater opportunity on the right side, using the Mudmouth to try to defend. However, the Splat Charger breaking through the defenses, having greater priority. Now trying to use the Scallop card. Opting to go instead and attack on the right side. Both players now attacking the other base. Pinon with a special point and a huge lead already. Well, not hugely, but a sizable lead of 11 points. Using the merch card. Hard to break through, hard to do much with when against Double building up 2 special points with the Tri-Slosher. Pinon now attacking through the top. Fred comes blocking off on that right side. However, the top still wide open for Pinon to attack. Trying to decide what are they going to do, opting just to get 2 special points. With doubles getting 1. 3 points on each side. Pinon using that Steel Eel, setting up very well for that Splatana Stamper that they have to get 2 special points on the bottom. Double getting an extra special point. However, not going to really be able to do much with that little breakthrough that they had at that bottom. Using the sense attack to get an extra 2 special points. Still very much either player's game. Little Judd coming out at the top for Pinon. Double going with the Slosher. Also going at the top. Pinon gets a special point. Double does not. It's very even. I can't quite tell how many Double has. Has 6 or 7. Pinon using 1 special card. Double assuming as well. Using the Ultra Stamp. Gains a slight advantage, getting it ever so closer. Ink back coming out from Pinon. And a communication error. From Double. Excuse me on that. Whoops. That confused me, but I think that is enough for Pinon to take. I think there's no way Double could have won that. Yeah. Though that is, I think, enough for Pinon to take game number 3. And with the DC rules, that is late enough. That will still give Pinon the win on that match, which allows Pinon to move on to grand finals. And we'll see you all for grand finals here very soon. Hello everyone and welcome to Grand Finals. We made it 3 rounds of winners and I don't even know how many rounds of losers. I think it's, let's see, 4 rounds of losers. Very quick today due to Bullet getting into losers finals by about an hour. Both players at the ready. And into game 1 on Main Street. Be interesting to see how this goes. As players pick their decks. Now starting game number 1 of the grand final set. Pinon coming in through losers. Having only 1 set to live. Chris, coming in through winners, has to be beaten in 2 separate best of 5 sets by Pinon. For Pinon to win this, Pinon having to win both of those sets, Chris only having to win 1 set as having not lost yet, being coming to grand finals through winners. Pinon got knocked down in winner semis by DblCookies, who then they beat in the run back in losers finals. Both these players trying to start out, gain as many points as possible, gain those special points in this bullet format. There is not enough time to think. You gotta move quick or else you will pass. We saw that happen multiple times in round 1. Winners round or winners quarterfinals. So you have to move quick and you gotta make sure you play it well. Otherwise, it will all ravel in front of you. You gotta build, one of the major things is special points. Special points help a lot, especially in normal table perf, but especially in bullet. Having that extra opportunity to push into the opponent's space, having so much extra space, though you have to plan it so far in advance due to the lack of time that you have. Chris using the special to try to move in to Pinon's space. However, space being taken up by that dynamo and a special point. Pinon having a huge special point advantage, so is behind by about 6 points. Using the splatter shot to move in. Pinon trying to figure out what to do, decides to pass the fry card. The lead growing by Chris. Using the largest card they have, trying to build up that lead. Small fry coming out from Pinon, though not getting the special point during that. The lead still ever growing from Chris. Pinon, though, now having an opportunity to use her special cards, decides not to. Special card now coming out from Chris. Pinon trying to find what they can use, what gives them the best chance. Using the captain card though, but will it be enough? It's gonna be close, but I think Chris will have enough extra points with that, with the 10 missiles to take game 1, and they do by 5 points. Takes game number 1. It is now time for Chris to ban 2 stages. Pinon's counter pick. Banning box seats and squared. Going to double Gemini for game number 2. Both players picking their decks as they now pick their starting hands, starting in double Gemini. Heading on game number 2, Pinon trying to get back into the game. Started down 0-1 against double last set. Won that 3-1 and started up 1-0 against double in winners semis. and lost that 2-1 with the reverse sweep from Double. Deciding to block off that right side. However, ballpoint Slatling, being smaller card, takes, I forget the priority, I keep forgetting that word for some reason, against Pinon's card. Already 3 special points on the board, 2 for Pinon, 1 for Chris. Pinon with the slight lead, unable to play the brush. Just trying to find where's the best spot, only 2 seconds left. Finds it, places it down, 1 point lead from Pinon. Uses the Squid Force card to get that extra special point. Also, Chris blocking off that top and left side from Pinon. Pinon, though, does have those extra special points. Trying to find where can they use this brush. Running out of time, decides to use it in that top area. 2 special points for Chris. Both players at 3 special points. Captain card now available for Pinon. However, no, not enough space to play it. Decides to play the trump card, just gain that extra special point. Both players gaining 1 more special point on that turn. Chris with a slight lead. Once again, another large card Pinon is unable to play. Opts just to use Tense Deck and get that extra point. Five special points now. Decides to try to use the Triple Ink Strike instead of a special card, seeing that they have enough for the Cali and Marie card, or Marie card, on the special points. Closes the gap with that. Now able to get an extra special point, now able to play the Captain card. 2 more special points for Chris, however, now also able to play a large card. Seeing they have a small card, they are opting to use their Captain card right now. Almost ran out of time, able to play it down in, however. Chris, however, with the lead and with enough special points, I think they will have enough and find a great spot to play it and take the lead. The steal deal, that will be enough points just to begin with to do it, which will give Chris, once again, game number 2. And a win streak. Once again, Pinon's counter pick Chris's bands. Be interesting to see how they go. Striking the same stages, it is up to Pinon. Will they go back double Gemini? Will they try a new stage? Opting to head to River Drift for game number 3. Will this be the tournament right here with a 3-0 fashion from Chris? Doing a sweep across the bracket. I think only losing 1 game so far. Or will Pinon be able to claw back the reverse 3-0? It's going to come down to this. As they now begin game number 3. Also, Pinon's tournament life. Both players starting out with large cards, trying to move into the middle. Dynamo able to block off their base. The holograph Dynamo could have put it further, though they did not know where Pinon was going to place their card. Chris trying just to place as many cards as they can, trying to take as much space as humanly possible. Pinon opting to play up in their base rather than contest in that little middle area. Giving Chris a bit of extra space to play their cards, get a few extra points. Already running very low on space. Chris with a lot of extra space still in their base. Trying to play the largest card they can. 1 more special point coming out for Pinon, now at 2 special points. Chris only at 1 halfway through the match. It's looking progressively harder and harder for Pinon to claw back from this game. Chris having the huge advantage at the current moment in time. opting to play the Splatana Wiper. However, the special point being taken over by Pinon, who also gets the special from that. Trying to push further with the suction bomb, gets the launch off point and a special point. Pinon, however, at 6 special points, still has a chance to win this game. Still enough cards and enough special points to make a huge splash in this game to change it quickly. Decides to pass the DG Octavia card, has 7 special points to utilize. Chris being forced to use the Tri-Slasher card, going to barely have enough for their special card. Inkback coming out from Pinon. Pushing forward, an extra special point for Pinon at 5 special points. If they play this right, they will have enough to win this game. It's just going to come down. Do they have a good spot for this big man card? It's going to be close. And it's very likely we'll head on to a game number 4 here. And we do. Pinon taking game number 3. Staying in it by a singular thread. Can have an opportunity to move on to try to get to this Grand Finals reset. Now, Chris's counter pick and Pinon spans. Pinon banning lakefront property and X marks the garden. Chris opting to go to as they think. Just waiting. Thunder point for game number 4. So we now just wait for Pinon to sit down in the seat to start the match. As we now head on to game number 4. Pinon deciding to stay with the Conley Marie start. Will the Squid Sisters keep their deck fresh and keep Pinon in the running, getting the score to 2-2, going to a game 5 scenario early on? Or will Chris be able to snuff out the flame and just win the tournament right here? Chris basically blocked off from Pinon's space. Pinon is still able to get into their base. However, opting just to take up space in their side of the map. They try to prevent being attacked even further. Now trying to move in. Using the Squid Force on the right side of the map. The captain card using to defend it. However, the special point 1 being overridden and 2 being activated for Pinon, as well as Pinon still being able to attack into their base. And having to lead, Pinon having a special point and normal point lead. Once again, gets another special point, though Chris having to set up for 4 special points at the top of the map. And having a special point wall to prevent Pinon from using their special in that area. Pinon building 2 more special points. Already at 6 special points. Unable to use the fry card, just using now. It's trying to think, is it worth getting 2 for 1? And they did. Now at 8 special points. Chris at 3, now able to use their special card in the final turn. Pinon trying to decide, is the Cuttlefish card the best card to use? They decide it is. Chris getting 4, 5 or something special points in that turn. I cannot count. Pinon, though, getting another special point at 9 special points. Being able to play one of the... Okay. With the rules, by definition, since the DQ was far enough in the game, that will cost the game for Pinon. Which will give Chris game number 4, and with that, the tournament. Chris taking the tournament 3-1 against Pinon in grand finals, though with an unfortunate DC in game number 4. Can't do much about it. In Chris's words, it's anticlimactic, and unfortunately it is, but it's just the way it goes sometimes. There will be more opportunities. I do plan to host more tournaments in the future. Though, with that, congratulations to Chris. You are the champion of Speed of Sound. Congrats. This is so sad. Can we get 100 likes? Everyone like the video. Pinon asked. So we have to now. It's required by law. But for today, that will be it. Good games, and thank you to everyone for playing who has participated. And tomorrow I will be streaming again with the Nintendo Direct and some Splatoon. So stay tuned for that. Tournament-wise, I do plan to host another tournament in the future. When? I do not know. It really just depends on a lot of other things. But be sure to stay tuned in the event announcements and in the Discord for that. Once again, congratulations to Chris. But that will be it today. Thank you everyone for watching, and once again, thank you for everyone who played. I'm Finn. This was Speed of Sound. Thank you for watching.